Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tanzil Mirza. Today's topic is little different. So today we'll talk about one very simple thing. We do this thing very frequently whenever an error occurs in our code. Okay, we do this very frequently, and I'm talking about displaying the error on console. And this is going to be a very introductory video, so there will be no coding involved in this. So today is just the theory part. We'll just talk about this. Okay, so I'm talking about the error on the console. Well, this is the very easiest way to tell the user that this error has occurred at this location. Okay. In C language we use printf, in C++ we use cout. Similarly, in Java we have a statement called sysout, which is actually the system.out.println. Okay, we use that. We know that very well. Yes, this is pretty simple, but let me tell you something about this. It's not the right way, guys. It's not the right way when you are in the industry. So what I'm trying to say is these console statements are okay when you are a student or you are working on a small scale project or on a personal project. That is okay till there. But in the IT industry, when you're working with a team, when you're working under a team, you need to maintain these error logs in a separate file for future use, for audit purpose. There can be several reasons for doing so, and we have some strong reasons to do so. So let me show you a very simple sample log file, then we'll talk about that. Let me go there. I'll just run this file. Okay, and yeah, see, this is how a professional, or we can say somewhat professional, error log file looks like. uh, I'll highlight some main points here. First thing first, the amount of information it gives. Okay, just look at the information. See, it has got the type of error. Okay, it has got the type of error or severity of the error, whether it's just a piece of information or warning. Okay, it contains the file name. As you can see, it contains the file name or the class name, you can say. It also shows the timestamp. See, this timestamp is also there. And the second point is, look at the format, how nicely it is framed. So this brings uniformity in the team. It becomes easy to interpret. It becomes easy to discuss errors with your teammates. And one last point that that I would like to mention is that is the log levels. You can decide the severity. This is helpful when you want to track the path followed by your program. You can decide what will go inside information, what will go inside warning, what will be treated as an error, what will be treated as a fatal. So these are known as log levels. You can decide the log level of your errors. Okay, so this becomes very handy at times. So uh, when we use the right tools, we'll code from the scratch and we'll see that what will go where. Okay, now let me show you the code. But wait, before showing you the code, I have one important announcement here. The approach that I'm using here is obsolete. Okay, the jar that I'm using here is obsolete. That means it's no longer in use in the industry because we have some other advanced tools for now, for error logging now. So but uh, yeah, we'll talk about those tools someday and we'll write the code from the scratch also. But right now let me just run this piece of code and show you the output. I'll just run it from here, and as you can see, one error log has been generated. Okay, and in my file I have one file called log4j.properties. In that file I have specified that I have specified the output file for these error logs. So if we go back to the downloads, it must be somewhere. Yeah, logging.log. So this is how it is logged here. And there are many benefits of using this thing. You can Google the benefits of this, but since this approach is quite obsolete, I just don't want to go into the code. Okay, I'll go back to the code. Let me just explain this thing. Quickly do that. So first thing first, we need to download and include a jar in the class path, and that jar is log4j hyphen 1.2.17.jar. This version I'm talking about. Okay, this we need to include it in the class path. So first we'll create a reference type of logger class, and then using that class, since this is the static member function, I'm just calling this get logger, and I'm just passing the class name and with dot class. And then I'm deciding, for now I'm explicitly throwing the errors, explicitly logging the error. So I'm using debug, info, warn, error, and fatal. Okay, so we'll not go into the details, this is an obsolete code. So the sole purpose of this video was to give you an idea of the best practices in the industry regarding error logging. We can use the error logs to create the visualizations into using Kibana. Okay, there are some tools, Kibana, Logstash. There's a complete stack for that, EFK stack we call that, Elasticsearch, Kibana, and so we can use that. Okay, so the sole purpose was to give you the idea of all of the best practices regarding error logging in the industry. So very soon we'll look into the latest tools, okay, and write some code for that. But that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. We'll meet very soon. See you in the next video, guys. Thank you.